Hello, hello. Um, Today we're going to make a video about kind of an interesting topic about the state of jets, specifically fast jets and trainers in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I'm going to make a couple of comments about expectations and how we should manage that as a community and how we move forward as a community to get better products. So I think everyone that has followed Sim for a while knows. Initially, we didn't have this for Flight Sim. Microsoft Flight Simulator is typically not a fast jet simulator. It's very much a general aviation sim at the heart of it. But over the last 2 years since the sim has launched, we've gotten a lot of products in the simulator. I do have some to show off today, and we're going to kind of talk about a little bit of that. So, my gold standard for jets in this sim is from India Fox. They have done, in my eyes, the best products and at a fair price. They're also on Orbex, and Orbex typically gives you very good pricing. So we've got the T45 Gashawk, which is a version of the Hawk trainer, which is famous for European use. We Americans know the T45. We don't have the Hawk. We have the T45. This is U.S. Navy trainer, U.S. Marine Corps trainer for fast jet pilots. You can see here it's $26 on Orbex right now, which is quite frankly for me a steal. Um, with all the features that they have in there. Now this did have some issues at launch, but they have improved everything since then. And this is a very, very good trainer for the sim and one of the best. You can see they have high fidelity cockpits, they have good sounds, flight model's very nice, and it looks very, very good. Some of the other ones we're going to bring up. We're going to bring up the M346 from the same company, India Fox. That just came out very recently. And on here, it's the same price, $25. This had some issues. It was patched immediately, and it's one of my favorite jets in the simulator right now. Very, very high fidelity. This was actually contracted by Leonardo, the company that makes this jet in real life. So you know India Fox was going to do it right, and they did. So in addition, we have the MB339 from India Fox, which is $22. This has been in sim for quite a while. I own it, but I don't fly it. Just kind of out of my wheelhouse. But this is also a very, very high fidelity aircraft, custom everything, and they've done it right. We're going to keep going down the list of their stuff. And for me, this is the gold standard. The F-35. This jet on Orbex is $26. You get three models, the A, the B, and the C. Custom avionics, custom sounds, helmet mounted display, visual showing of ordnance. You have some radar modes in here that actually work. You have a lot of camera systems that actually work in the jet. And it's all been done very, very well. Extremely high fidelity. So some of the other ones, personally, that I like in the sim, I like the F-104 Starfighter. That's $20 on Orbex right now. Also, very, very good. I think this is a study level jet. I absolutely believe it is. It has a knee board, which for me is kind of a something that more devs need to get into because this is what fighter pilots actually use in their jets. They have all kinds of things on here from flight plans to maps to, I mean, you name it, radio frequencies. It's all there. The other one from India or the same developer as that, Sim Skunkworks, is the G91 for $20. This is a really high fidelity jet too. This is another Cold War fighter. They also have a knee board in here. This is one of the older jets in the sim. It's been around a while, so it doesn't quite get the love that it deserves. But you can see the price point is very, very good. And this actually, in its initial launch, did have, and I believe it still works, but it has a functioning weapon system, which is pretty rare in this sim. So, excuse me. One other jet that I wanted to go over, the MiG-21. This is a pretty study level-ish jet. There's a few issues with it that I've shown off on my stream. I also brought those up in my previous video. about my favorite jets in the sim, but this has a lot of really, really cool features. And the biggest thing I think is the afterburner looks pretty bad. But this is $33. So, I mean, you see the territory for a lot of these jets is 25 and up in most realms, especially here on Orbex, which is giving very good prices right now. I'm not sure if there's a sale going on, but these are good prices. This is where I get most of my jet add-ons. So, the thing that brought me to make this video today, this thing. Um, I know we've talked about value before on the channel, and I did stream the F-117 the other day, the $20 one that I was critical of at first. But when you have a product that doesn't have its own sounds, doesn't have its own avionics system, and is missing several features that are work in progress, and the dev is actually very transparent about showing what they're working on, $20 is a good acceptable price point. This jet here, this Eurofighter, for $35, that does not have custom sounds and they have no ETA on when they're going to have them. For me, that's very dishonest to the customer. At least that's the way I feel. I do appreciate that there's a custom avionics suite in here. I do understand that it has some authenticity issues from people that I know who have been around Eurofighters. They have said that these screens may not be as authentic. I'm not sure if there's a older generation to a newer generation thing there. Avionics systems mature over the life of an aircraft, and they change. So you get things thinned out, things get better. So that could be a case here. But additionally, the interior cockpit on this jet is very, very rough. There's a lot of really, really bad texturing in here. The glass is not great. The panel texturing is very, very barren and sparse. And we also, bordering on dishonesty in the advertising here, this aircraft is fully compatible with VR headsets and makes use of MSFS features such as rain, effects, and sounds. So what are we trying to get at here? We also go down here and we see the new simulators features such as rain effects and sounds. So we don't have custom sounds. We have F-18 sounds. For those who don't know, an F-18 sounds nothing like a Eurofighter. A Eurofighter actually has fairly unique engine sounds. I do understand the people that make the sounds for the sim are very backed up. I understand that. I'm clarifying my statement by saying I totally understand that. But in my eyes, if you're going to release a jet that isn't finished, you need to have a discounted price point to reflect that. There's plenty of history of games like Ready or Not. When they came out, we do play a lot of Ready or Not. I play a whole lot of it. When that game came out, as did Ground Branch, it was very unfinished and the price point reflected it. Prices have gone up as more features have been added. I think personally that would have been prudent with this. I see no justification for a $35 price point on this. I don't think this is a $35 aircraft. I think it's closer to a $25 aircraft. When the sounds get added, sure, $35, feel free. But also keep in mind, I'm going to bring up some of their own jets, some of the own DC jets. So DC Designs worked with Codename Jack on this jet. I'm going to bring up some of their own jets against them. The F-16, you get 3 jets, $35. The Eagle, which you get 4 jets, $40. The Eurofighter, 1 jet, no custom sounds, a lot of texturing issues, $35. I also want to bring up a couple of other things. So Just Flight, their pricing is different than Orbex. So you see here we're $1 cheaper than the F-35 from India Fox, which gives you 3 jets. On Just Flight, there's $1 difference between the two of them. And you get 3 jets and custom everything. So, can you really justify $35 for an unfinished product with no ETA on the finishing? I have asked DC Designs for an ETA on when the sounds are going to be implemented. I haven't received an answer as of the recording of this video. Um, so for me, I'm not going to make any accusations because that's not my place. I'm just going to say, for me, this is not worth anywhere near $35 right now in its current state, and it won't be for quite some time because they have no ETA on the sounds. One other jet I wanted to bring up, and I'm going to bridge this gap before I bring this other jet up. So we started off this sim with the F-15. That was our first fast jet from a third-party developer. It was awful, terrible, trash. It's improved a lot since then. It's improved a lot. It still has Hornet avionics in some of the models, the stock ones with all the in-app screens, $40. Um, it's still, I mean, it got new sounds, which are great. Still, we're doing better than this Eurofighter, right? We're doing better than that because we've got the sounds. But my point with bringing that up is this sim fights for respectability in the fast jet realm because we have things like DCS that do it better. They just do. They have an authenticity standard. I mean, that's study level's not for everybody. I understand that. I understand that. I am an idiot. I'm a total moron. I mean, I admit this. I screw around in DCS. I'm not taking things 100% seriously in DCS because that's not my character. I get in a Hornet, I'm shooting down whatever I feel like. I'm dropping bombs on whatever I feel like. I'm creating custom scenarios and having fun. I'm same thing in the Tomcat. You know, the Spitfire in there is great. The P-47 in there is great. The Mustang's great. But it's how you fly it and how you play it. For me, that's the way I feel. And in this sim, the throw around aspect of some of these jets is why we're limited right now in what we can do because we're still at a fairly juvenile phase of like the F-35 in here. I would put up against any of the jets in DCS for details because it's that well done. It's not about the sim, it's about the developer and what kind of effort they put into it. The reason I say that to segue myself into this thing. This is another $35 jet that for me absolutely is not worth the price point. This too has Hornet sounds. They're modified Hornet sounds. It also has the warning sounds from the Hornet, which is a Boeing jet. This is not a Boeing jet. This is a Lockheed jet. So, Bitching Betty, as she's called, would not be in an F-22. So, this is also a jet that has gotten one update since it launched earlier this year. One update. Um, so the dedication from the dev on some of these jets isn't there. India Fox is constantly updating stuff. They're always fixing bugs. They're open to feedback. They're very, very engaged with their customer base. And for me, that's another value add on a jet. I approach all of these from value. I have no emotional attachment to any of these. I could care less about what kind of a jet it is. I love a Hornet. I mean, I'm a Hornet guy. You've seen me wear Hornet shirts before on my streams, but I'm not so emotionally attached to something I can't call it out. And I think we have a problem with that in the simulation community, especially with the Eurofighter and the F-22. I've seen a lot of people that are really emotionally attached to these aircraft that don't like any criticism of them because they just want to be left in their box with their little toy. To each their own. Live your life. I mean, if you want to buy products that are borderline price point, borderline quality, feel free. Um, but my take on it is when we have a high standard on things, we get better products. That's just life. You know, if you go out and buy a car that fails after 10 miles, is that car company ever going to be inclined to really give you a better product? So for me, having a high standard for the aircraft that we're purchasing, it is our money. No one's forcing us to buy all these things. Um, that's going to get us better products. That's my take. You can disagree with it. Feel free to let me know in the comments. But right now, I think we're at a point in this sim where we've got some study level jets. We absolutely do. But this Raptor, not it. This Eurofighter, not it. If we push for a higher standard, we're going to get better products and we're going to be happier over time. It's my take. Like I said, you can feel free to disagree with it. But when we have such products in the sim already that are study level, And I understand that's not for everyone, but we want to push that standard, right? We want to get better products. So if we hold that standard, over time, we'll get it. And that's about all I have to say today. I'll be waiting for the India Fox Eurofighter. I have no doubt that that'll be top notch, and everyone will be pleased with that. Thanks for joining me, guys. Have a good weekend.